All right, we are live. Hey everyone, this is Lisa Torres here with the Prosperity Team Hangout. If this is your first time with us, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're very excited to have you here. If you are watching us for like the millionth time, because maybe you're on the Prosperity Team, then welcome as well. We're so excited to have you on the team, either way, whether you're new, you're seasoned, whatever. Today is a very exciting night, as every week is exciting. We do these hangouts for the Prosperity Team every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are the Prosperity Team of Empower Network. What we do is basically we do these hangouts to help educate you, to help motivate and inspire you, and to really teach you what it takes to build a successful business on the internet. So what I'm excited about tonight is introducing you to a young lady that I recently met, and I've heard a lot of great, great things about her, and I believe that you guys are going to love her as much as I'm loving her already. Okay? So without further ado, I'm not even going to get into introducing myself too much because if you guys have been here, every single week, you already know who I am. I'm Lisa Torres. I'm the host of the Prosperity Team. I've been online for 6 years now, making a full-time income from home, working from home, sharing ideas and thoughts and things like that, trainings and things like that with the community, and adding just a tremendous amount of value to the community to help other people live a lifestyle of freedom. That's my story in a nutshell. So with that being said, I don't want to do too much talking because you came here for one reason and one reason only, and that was to find out how this young lady was able to earn $24,625 in 1 week. I mean, who does that, right? That's someone's yearly salary. So get your pen and paper ready, because I know I have mine. I have my notepad opened up on my computer ready to get the value that she is about to provide to you and to me. Because I certainly have not made $25,000 in 1 week. So I'm ready to actually hear what this young lady has to say. She's a single lady with big, big dreams out in Colorado. She's been online for 6 years now, struggled for 5 years. So if we have some people that are out there that are watching that have been online for some time and just really couldn't find your breakthrough, you just keep trying different things and failing and failing and failing, well, guess what? So did she. And you know what? So did I. It wasn't until about a year ago where she finally started seeing success online. I mean, really true success. The kind of success that she's going to share with you tonight. She's been in with Empower Network on our team for 2 years. She's actually up to 6 figures. She's a 6-figure earner. And I'll repeat it again. She made $24,625 in 1 week. Now, before I bring her out, I got to throw an income disclaimer out there. Just because, she earned almost $25,000 in 1 week does not mean that you will when you join our team. What it means is that it is very possible, because we have a system in place that will allow you to get those kind of results. And that's the thing with a lot of people failing online, is that they don't have the proper skill sets, they don't have the right system in place or the tools in place to actually have these kind of results. But today's your lucky day, because we actually have the system, the tools, and the training that will allow you to actually get those results if you make a decision to get those results. So with that being said, Angela, take it away.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much, Lisa. Really appreciate it. Thank you again so much for having me out here. I'm really excited to share this information with you guys. This is actually what I'm gonna teach you. What I'm gonna teach you guys tonight is actually a process that I walked my own personally sponsored people through almost a month ago now. Here, about it was like right around the 25th of last month. I guided them through this process, and within a few days, because I went through the process myself as well, within a few days, like Lisa just actually mentioned, I had earned $24,625 on the internet. Before we get started here, just to to rewind a little bit and tell you, a little bit about me, as Lisa mentioned, I've been online for quite some time, and it took me, 5 years of literally failing forward in order to actually start finally having success. Now, the interesting thing about when I did find success finally, my first ever 5-figure month was actually June of last year. June of 2013 was my first 5-figure month. I jumped from $6,850 in the month of May to $11,500 and some odd dollars. I don't remember the exact amount. $11,500 and something in the month of June. And I followed the same process, just for a much smaller goal then, that I'm going to teach you guys how to do here tonight. I also set the process at the time before. I set it for 6 months. I didn't believe at the time that I could actually create a 5-figure monthly income in a shorter period of time than 6 months. It's important to actually take into account, what you actually believe in your core. If you can't actually set a goal and set up action steps to actually achieve that goal if you don't really believe in your core that you can hit it. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So at the time, last January, I came back to Empower Network. I had, quit for a little while, was doing other stuff. I decided to come back to Empower Network in January of 2013. I was making, a few $100s a month, sometimes up to $1,000 a month in Empower Network from residuals from when I first got started, but I hadn't been promoting it since the very beginning because I didn't have a ton of success. And so what I did was I went through the process that I'm going to lay out for you guys here tonight. And I said that within 6 months, I wanted to reach a $10,000 a month income. To me, $10,000 at the time would have been slightly less than what I was making with insurance, because I used to be an insurance broker. But it would have been enough to comfortably live on, and I was happy to have made, a $10,000 a month income. I would have been happy to make that within a 6-month period of time on the internet, because of the fact that I had failed for so long. I didn't think that I could actually achieve it faster than that. Now, that being said, I want to explain everyone here, you guys can absolutely achieve your goals much faster than that. With the systems that we have in place, with what we're putting together, with the iPass launch, which I'm going to talk about here in just a moment as well, we've got systems to where you can go from, 0 to 10,000 a month in 30 days, 0 to 20,000 a month in 30 days. And as Lisa said, we can't give you any guarantee of income. The only person that can guarantee your specific income is you. And this is your business, and your results are going to be up to you. But what I'm here to tell you is that the level of results that you can achieve in doing what we do with the systems that we have in place is more than I've seen in any other business or in any other opportunity out there. And a lot of it has to do with the community of people that we surround ourselves with as well. I've surrounded myself over the course of the past month with some of the most brilliant minds that I've ever met on the entire internet, and a lot of that also has to do with my success. So I'm going to guide you guys through a process that I used in order to make quite a bit of money over the course of the past month. But I also want to, just kind of give you guys a few other nuggets, a few other bits and pieces that kind of factored in that were a little bit outside of this specific process that I'm going to guide you through. So without further ado, the reason why I decided to guide my team through this process and have everybody do this about a month ago is because we're in pre-launch right now for a new funded proposal system called iPass 2. iPass 1 was the original iPass funded proposal system for Empower Network. People saw a lot of results. People that had never had success before, had $3,000 days, $5,000 days. There's results all over the internet. You just Google iPass testimonial, you'll find stuff all over the place. Well, they basically they took iPass 1, they put it under the knife, and they repackaged it and made it a whole lot better. Right now we're in pre-launch, and everybody that launches with us, you can actually join iPass for free right now as well. I don't know how to actually tell people to do that. Maybe Lisa can tell people how to do that.
Yeah, they can actually get back to the person that invited them here to this webinar tonight. Okay. Get back with the person that invited you here, or wherever you saw the link. Go back and get with that person wherever you saw the link, whether you saw it on Facebook or through an email, and ask that person how they can get a hold of the free iPass 2 system that we have launching.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So cool. Yeah, just send like a reply email back to whoever brought you here then, and you'll be able to access the system for free. Actually, get 3 free products just for getting in before we actually launch, and it doesn't cost you anything. But the really cool thing is, you know, when we actually launch here in a few weeks, a lot of people are going to make a lot of money. People that have never made money before are going to make money. So I wanted to make sure that I had my team actually lay out their goals properly. Because if you guys lay out your goals properly, I'm telling you, it is very, very easy to actually achieve a goal. If you do this, if you walk through this process with me and you do this right, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter, you know, if you've never had success online before. When I initially did this process, I did not have success online before. I had struggled for years, and within 6 months of doing it, I created a 5-figure monthly income. Within a few days of doing it last month, I created $25,000. The process absolutely works, but I wanted to give you kind of a basis of understanding of why we decided to do this, because for some of you guys, this will be a little bit of a review. You know, this is something that is in one of the Empower Network products. It's in the 15K formula. We walk through goal setting and then how to kind of reverse engineer your goal and how to actually reach it. I do my stuff a little bit differently, so if you have gone through that product, I encourage you to stick around and actually go through the exact process that I follow as well, because even if you've done this before, I think that it can be very beneficial for you. And I also think, you know, moving into the launch, that we should all be resetting our goals, because we all have an opportunity to make a whole lot more money than we've ever made before. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and actually one more thing before I jump into the questionnaire that I'm going to actually have you guys do. You'll all want to grab a piece of paper and a pen, by the way, because this is like a totally what's the word, like you're gonna do stuff, I'm gonna do stuff, we're all gonna do stuff. I don't actually know the word, but whatever. Anyway, you want to have a piece of paper and a pen. What?
It's called interactive.
Interactive. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. See, you cannot be able to think of words like interactive and still make $25,000 in a week. Almost 25,000. 24,625. Interactive. This is an interactive process. So awesome. So I'm going to walk you guys through how to set a goal and all of that good stuff. One thing to take into account, and one reason, I want to kind of explain one reason before we actually get started, why some people will set goals and actually not reach them. And a lot of times what happens is we get comfortable. And what I actually had done about just a few weeks before I actually set this new goal and I walked my team through this process is I made my ordinarily very comfortable situation. I used to live in the mountains in Copper Mountain, Colorado. I used to go skiing like pretty much every day. I would do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I didn't really work that much because I was making, you know, $10,000 a month. With Empower, I had been doing that for quite some time. And what I did to really just shock my system and put myself in a state of uncomfort, all right, because I was in a state where it was just like I wasn't really trying that hard anymore, and if I set a goal, it was kind of like I wasn't really pushing that hard to actually reach it. I don't know if any of you guys here have ever felt like that before, where you know, you set a goal and you're kind of like, oh, well, what's the point, because my life is, you know, okay anyways. You know, this job that I have pays me, you know, good money, so I'm not, you know, really hurting for money. I'm not, you know, having to skip out on, you know, Saturday football or whatever because I have to work because my job isn't that bad. So some of you guys are in like a little bit of a comfortable situation. I was in a comfortable situation, therefore my income became stuck. So here what I did, all right, a lot of you guys here are going to laugh at me because this is actually kind of funny. I'm a Sagittarius, we're like super extreme, right? It's like one way or the other way. And what I did at the very beginning of February is I moved from my place in the mountains to like this really crappy basement apartment in Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, I wanted to move to Fort Collins from the mountains because there's just more to do down here. I like skiing a lot, but I definitely like more of a city kind of feel as well, which is why I wanted to move to Fort Collins, but I did not obviously want to have my end goal here be in the basement. I don't actually know if you guys can hear this. There's like people who live upstairs. They're louder than hell. Right now there's a guy playing guitar. I'm pretty sure you guys can probably hear this. I don't know.
I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything, so you're
okay. Well, I can hear it loud and clear. That being said, I made my situation really uncomfortable. I could have afforded a lot more than what I moved into. The reason I moved here is because I wanted to be in a state where I was very uncomfortable, so that I would push myself 10 times harder to actually reach my goal. This place is in a nice neighborhood, but it is definitely the crappiest place I've ever lived in my life. There's no heating, so I have a space heater sitting over there. Actually, I have a heated blanket that I'm using right now. And when I got here, it was instantly like, I need to push really, really, really hard to actually get to my next level. So sometimes in life you need to do that. You might not need to go to the extreme of moving into a basement. However, you need to actually take a look at your situation, and if you are too comfortable in what you're already doing, you need to maybe take a look at what you can do to get out of that comfort zone, so that you can push yourself to your next level if it's that important to you to actually reach that next level. All right, so with that being said, I had a little bit more ammunition than the questionnaire that we're going to go over, because I was freezing to death here in the basement. And by the way, I'm moving out of the basement. In 3 days, I'm moving to a penthouse condo, like right up the street here. I'm super excited. It's like my dream condo, actually. I'm going to shoot like videos. They'll be on my Facebook. You guys can check them out.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Huh?
I said, well deserved.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was the $25,000 week. I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. we're gonna move to the condo and out of the basement. So anyway, that being said, I want to go ahead and actually go through some of these questions, and I encourage you guys to actually answer these with me as I go through, and I'm going to actually give you my exact answers that I put down on this particular questionnaire just about a month ago. And like I said, from going through this exercise, it is exactly what produced a $10,000 a month income within 6 months. About a year ago when I got started back with Empower Network, and it's the exact process I followed a month ago to earn almost $25,000 in a week. So getting started, basically what we want to do is a bird's eye view of your 90-day goal. How much money do you want to earn in 90 days? And this is a super, simple question. You just write down a number. All right, we're going to get into, why you want to reach that goal and things like that as we move forward. But basically, this is the number that you want to hit 90 days from today. And you can do 90 days from the 1st or whatever if you want, make your life a little bit easier. That's what I did. It was like right around this time last month, and I did my goal starting from the 1st. And so my goal is written out to be reached on June 1st of 2014. And my goal, just so all of you guys know, is $50,000 a month by June 1st of 2014. All right, so that's actually 5 times what I was making per month when I wrote my goal. Now I'm making, obviously a little bit more than that. Last month I made just under $35,000 from setting, going through this process. But at the time, I was making, $9,000, $10,000 a month. So that being said, go ahead and write down a number. And I encourage you guys, by the way, to actually really stretch. Don't put down, $3,000 a month unless you really only want to make $3,000 a month. Write down, a number that would really be life-changing for you, a number that would really make things different in your life, because that will be a really good driving factor. It'll be a really good driving force for you. All right. So that being said, the next question on here is, why do you want that income amount? What purpose will it serve in your life? And what is a reason to drive you to accomplish that goal? All right. So when I was going through this before, I was like, I want to get out of the basement, for starters. And for the second thing, because I could have done that anyway, right? But that was just something that I did to myself to make myself just push harder for my goal. The next thing is that I wanted to inspire people. Some of you guys are in Empower Network already. Some of you guys own the Costa Rica Mastermind product. Some of you guys recognize me from that product and recognize how absolutely scared out of my pants that I was to be speaking in front of 9 people I am talking 9 people. Like, I mean, it is like comical. Like, I'm serious. Like, when I tell you guys, like, if I can succeed in this business, my God, all of you here should also be able to succeed in this business. Because in watching myself in that video, I can't even believe how I believed in myself. Man, I was bad. It was awful. So if you guys don't own that product, you should buy it just so that you get to laugh at me, because it actually is a pretty hysterical sight to see. Essentially what happened was, right before Empower Network actually launched, a few months before Empower Network actually launched, I knew Dave from the other program that I was under him in, and I had flown out to Costa Rica to learn from him personally, because I was still failing back then. I still hadn't figured things out. And I went there, and Dave thought he would use me as an example of somebody who would be good in front of a crowd and be able to actually, be an example. So I get up, and I'm just literally like, in front of 9 people. And I completely froze up, and it's the funniest thing ever. And going back to my why, I think that's awesome that video is still there, because it goes to show that you don't have to be born with good speaking ability. You don't have to be born with internet marketing abilities. You don't have to be good at this business at all in the beginning, because you can still succeed at it if you're willing to just put in a little bit of elbow grease and actually go through the process. I struggled and I failed for a long time before I actually saw success. Now, everybody here tonight, you guys have a lot at your fingertips that I didn't have in the beginning. There was no Empower Network when I first got started online. There was no way to earn 100% commissions. There was no iPass, online style business franchise system out there to where you can just literally plug in, get traffic, get leads, and get sales automatically. We didn't have anything like that. I didn't have anything like that. And it was a big reason, why it took me 6 years. I don't think it should take anybody here 6 years now that we have all this stuff. But that being said, my why, going back to that, is, I want to inspire people. I want to show all of you guys here. I want to show everybody in Empower Network and outside of Empower Network that they can do it. You guys can do it, because I really believe that anybody can do it if you're just willing to go through the process. All right. So that was my why. My biggest why was just to inspire people. It's why I want to hit 50,000 a month, because you inspire more people when you make more money, especially if you start out looking as terrible as I looked, right? So the next thing is, everybody write down your why, or at least write down the question so that you can come back to this. You can come back to this later on. The next thing is, what evidence is there going to be in your life to show that you've accomplished your outcome? So again, the question is, what evidence is there going to be in your life to show that you've accomplished your outcome? Now, I'll share with you guys what the evidence is now, because now that I've hit some of this stuff, and I hit it faster than I actually realized I was going to, I've had to change a bit of this, and a lot of it I'm actually ad-libbing as we go through this process here together tonight. But what I wrote here a month ago was the evidence that that will be in my life was that I will have spoken already at an Empower Network regional event. I was just invited the day before yesterday to speak in Seattle. So that's kind of that's already going to be the evidence that's in my life, because I actually already know that I'm going to be speaking now. So I'm having to come up with something different, and I'm not sure when they're going to be choosing national speakers, so I'm not sure if the timeline will make sense. But I need to come up with more evidence at the time that I will have actually achieved that outcome. So now that I'm going to be speaking at a regional event, my next goal to be able to inspire others is going to be to speak at a national event. So that might be the evidence in my life that I use to actually know that I've achieved my outcome. So you guys want to write that down. What evidence will there be in your life to show that you've accomplished your outcome? The next question is, what reward are you going to create for yourself when you reach your outcome? See, every time you hit a goal, you guys need to celebrate. It's something that actually drives you forward. it's something that actually drives you forward and motivates you to actually reach your goals. If you're just grinding away and grinding and grinding and grinding, and you're not actually ever rewarding yourself, you're not ever, giving yourself a pat on the back and saying, job well done. It's kind of like you get burned out. Whereas if you reward yourself, and even for little things, I'll like finish a sales letter and I'll like reward myself, right? So I do this like throughout my whole life. I don't just do this with my 90-day goals. I always reward myself for completing a task that I set out to complete. It's not just 90-day goals. You guys want to do this with everything. And so what I wrote down here, because you want to actually write stuff down that makes sense with the time that you're setting it for, right? So, my goal was set to be hit on June 1st of 2014. So I wouldn't be setting a reward to, go on like a ski vacation because it's going to be like the middle of summer, right? It wouldn't make any sense. And a lot of this has to be, it has to make sense internally with you. This is more than just writing down words and like writing down like a pie in the sky goal. This actually has to resonate with you internally for you to be able to reach the goal. And that sounds like a little bit woo, to some of you guys. Like some of you guys are not into like the law of attraction and things like that. I'm a wholehearted believer that we absolutely attract to ourselves what we think and we feel. And things like that, and it really has to be congruent to the time. So what I wrote down for this particular thing, which was, again, what reward are you going to create for yourself when you reach your outcome? I'm actually flying to Bali in the middle of June. This is already a trip. It's not actually booked yet, but it's a trip. I'm going to Bali for a wedding. Two really good friends of mine decided to book their wedding in Bali, which is just so awesome. When your friends like nudge you into a vacation in Bali just so that you can watch them get married, it's awesome. So what I wrote down for my reward, because I've never actually flown first class other than getting like bumped to first class when I was in corporate and stuff like that, is that I'm going to book my flight to Bali first class. It's like a $4,000 flight to Bali, and it's exactly June 1st is 2 weeks before I'm going to be leaving. And I actually Googled this to make sure that it wasn't going to be like a $20,000 flight if I book it 2 weeks ahead of time, and it's not. It's $4,000. So you don't actually get bumped on your price too much if you book 2 weeks ahead of time, as long as it's not like a few days ahead of time. You're good. So my reward for myself, once I hit my $50,000 per month goal, is on June 1st to be able to book my flight to Bali first class. All right, so you guys want to write down that as well, or at least write down the questions so that you can come back to it later. And the next thing is, where are you when you see the evidence that you've achieved your outcome? So basically, this goes back to you starting to feel the feelings of having achieved your goal already. It's more, like I keep saying, it's more than just writing down your goal. It's much more than that. And so where are you? Where do you see yourself? Can you visualize where you might be? Are you sitting at your day job and you're scrolling through your commissions on your phone and you're like, oh my gosh, I just made more in a month doing this business than I made in 6 months working this job. I don't have to do this anymore. Is that the realization that you come to, right? Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you're doing? Or, are you on your office computer and your boss catches you checking your commissions and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, I just made a bunch of money. So what is it that you're doing? Where are you? So what I wrote down for this, I'm sitting in my condo in Fort Collins, because I had this vision of the condo that I'm moving into in 3 days. I had this vision of this condo, and I knew that I was already going to be there before I reached the goal, because I certainly wasn't going to be almost making $50,000 a month and still be in the basement. So I wrote down, I'm sitting in my condo in Fort Collins, Colorado. It's the morning time. There's warm summer breeze coming through the window, and I can hear the music from the downstairs coffee shop. Because there's a coffee shop straight downstairs. So I could really visualize that and kind of wrap my brain around being in that specific situation. So that's important, all right? So that's the next thing. And the last thing that you guys will want to do, you're going to take all of these answers that you've written down, right? all of these answers that you've written down, and you want to write down what we call an outcome statement in the present tense. You want to write it in first person using all of your senses, because again, it's super, super important that you actually feel yourself reaching your goal. And I will tell you guys, and some of you guys, that are watching this hangout right now, some of you are on my personal team. Some of you watched this actually happen to me as I did this process live a month ago. When I wrote my outcome out, I wrote it live on the hangout. I actually was just like, I was like, hang on, guys, like just write your outcome out. I'm gonna write mine out. And I sat there and I typed it out for like 5 minutes. And when I read it out loud, I felt the feeling so strongly that I literally got shivers down my spine. I got goosebumps, and I was just literally like jolted. And it was a few days later that I hit that 24,625, which again is way more money than I've ever made. See, a lot of people think that it's about the latest and greatest marketing strategies and it's about all this other stuff. I didn't do hardly anything different in order to make that amount of money. And that's the thing, like, it's not about the marketing strategies. It's not, yes, you have to market. You can't just literally sit here and just think about $25,000 and like, bam, it'll manifest. It doesn't work like that.
Let me ask you a question really quickly about that.
Because
a lot of people are saying, well, of course it had to come from marketing. Yes, that's a part of it, but I think at one point you were kind of stuck. But I think what I'm getting from you is that the reason why you made that transition over to making almost $25,000 in 1 week, I think, in my opinion, you correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm getting is that not only did you just set the intention, but you also had set the intention with your team.
Yeah.
Right? So now it was no longer about you. It was about us.
Well,
and then I think at that point people started upgrading, and maybe you were getting more, enrollment or
absolutely.
whatever.
I definitely had a lot of upgrades. I've not been doing a ton of marketing in the past month because I've got a really big budget for the launch of iPass 2. I'm probably going to be spending anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000 in marketing during launch month, and I'm not running a whole lot of I'm not running any cold traffic actually right now at all. It's all just residual traffic and things that I had before. So when I say I didn't do anything differently, I really didn't do anything differently. Yeah. And the other thing too, and it's funny, Lisa, you just mentioned I said it with my team. My whole focus in the past few months has been all about my team. I wanted to move to the basement to not only push myself to make more money, but to make sure that my team started making money, to make sure that I plugged them into the right resources, to make sure that if they followed a simple step-by-step plan, if they decided to take action, that they would start to see success. It became the most important thing to me in the world. I became obsessed with it. I mean, literally, and I'm still obsessed with it. Like, I've been working, literally, like 15 to 20 hours a day because of this obsession. To make sure that my team is successful and to make sure that they have all of the right resources to actually start having success. So another reason why this goal manifested is because it wasn't about me. I wasn't sitting here thinking, like, how do I make $25,000? I was sitting here thinking, how can I make my team the most successful team in Empower Network? What can I do for these guys that have trusted me as their leader to make sure that they start making money now? That was what my focus was. So it's a very different kind of focus to have. And I will tell you, if you're new and you've not made money in this business before, it's very difficult to come from that frame of mind. Because you need to, and this is something else I've recently kind of gone over with my team, you need to create your own result of some sort before you can really kind of wrap your brain around the bigger picture in this business. And the bigger picture in this business is that it's really not about the money. It's not about the money at all. But we all get into the business for a way of making money outside of what we're already doing, outside of doing, insurance brokerage, which is what I did before this. And, outside of doing whatever job you're working, you get into the business so that you can make money. And, sometimes you'll hear people on stage saying, oh, it's not about the money. And you're sitting there like, I'm broke. It is about the money. So in order to actually wrap your brain around the fact that it's not about the money, you need to create a result first. Which, right now, like I keep saying, it's an awesome time to actually be able to create a result because of the fact that we are in pre-launch for iPass. People that have never had results before are going to have results simply because we've got traffic, we've got all sorts of resources for you guys to make sure that you're not make sure. I mean, again, there's no guarantees in life other than to death and taxes, but we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that as many people have success as possible. So that being said, once you do have success, it's much easier to wrap your brain around the bigger picture, which is that it's about all of the people that you can actually help, all of the lives that you can change. I'm really looking forward to watching a lot of people on my team and Prosperity team as a whole have an entirely different way of life over the course of the next few months because of what we're putting together. It's going to be the most amazing feeling in the world to know that I have played some kind of part in that. And it's really, really, really important to me. It's why I'm working so hard to make sure that happens for people. All right, so did that kind of answer your question, by the way? I ramble. I tend to ramble.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Thank you.
Cool, awesome. So I want to kind of read out to you guys what my outcome statement was in the present tense.
Hey, Angela, really quickly.
Yeah.
If you guys, for those that are watching right now, if you guys have any questions for Angela, you could just actually post them below, and I'll be monitoring the chat box below. So if you have any questions that you want me to ask her, go ahead and post your questions down below, and then I'll kind of bring them to Angela once we get towards the end.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is probably running shorter than what you guys' Hangouts normally run. I talk super fast, so it's kind of like you get a bunch of information in like a very short span of time because I'm just like on fast forward mode, like, right? So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and read my outcome statement out in the present tense. And that'll give you guys an idea of, how to write yours out. Again, the reason why I'm sharing my stuff with you is just to give you an example of how this actually works so that you can go and do it for yourself. I encourage everyone here to follow this process because it is the exact process that I used in combination with, the iPass formulas and Empower Network in order to actually create this process, combine it with iPass and Empower Network. That's it. All right. So here is my outcome statement. I, Angela Moore, sitting in my office in my luxury condo in Fort Collins, Colorado. The date is June 1st, 2014. I've just logged into my iPass back office, and I noticed my commissions for the last day, week, month, and year. In the past 24 hours, I've earned $1,725. In the past week, I can see that I've earned $12,100, and in the past month, just between May 1st and June 1st, I've earned $51,300. I feel the warm summer Colorado breeze coming through my window, and I hear the coffee percolating from downstairs in the kitchen. I stare over my laptop computer out the window at the beautiful Colorado sunshine, and I think back over the last 3 months at how effortless it was to earn this much money and to help my team start succeeding. I hear my phone dinging every few minutes from Facebook messages from our Facebook group for my team being so excited. So excited. There's a new video upload going in at least once an hour from people showing their results and all the excitement. Now to reward myself, I'm hopping on a flight in 2 weeks to Bali first class. So if you look at the structure of that, you can actually feel, well, you can't feel because it's not your goal, right? But if you write this out in a very similar type of way, and if you have the 15K formula, you can check out Dave's outcome statement that he wrote out as well. And I followed a very, very similar process to this. But you start the outcome out wherein you're sitting in an environment that is familiar to you. Now, when I wrote this out, this wasn't an environment that was going to be familiar to me, but I knew that by having reached $50,000 a month that I would not be living here anymore, that I would be living in the condo. I didn't know that I was going to be living in the condo like a few weeks after writing the goal out, but I did know that I certainly wasn't going to stay here for 6 months. So that's why I wrote it in the condo. So that's why sorry, I'm just kind of rereading here to kind of give you guys the components of what I did. The other thing is, the iPass back office, it shows you, how much you've earned the past day, week, month, and year. So I could really visualize that. I could see, what those numbers would look like in the back office there. So, you may be, when you're writing out your outcome statement, you may be thinking about the Empower Network back office, or you may be thinking about the iPass back office. Wherever you would think that you would log into, that's what you would want to actually write down. And what feelings are you feeling? Like for me, there's windows. Like this condo that I'm moving into, it's the penthouse at the top, and it's like round, right? There's like all these windows that kind of surround like my entire office, and they all open like going outwards like this. So I was able to picture the breeze, the cross breeze coming through in the middle of the summer. And there's like a spiral staircase that goes down from the office, and the kitchen is like right downstairs, right? And so like it's close enough to my office to where I would hear the coffee percolating, so I could really kind of put myself in that situation where I'm sitting upstairs, I'm probably, still in my pajamas, like kind of just waking up, looking in my back office, I've turned the coffee on downstairs, I can hear it percolating upstairs, and I'm sitting there at my computer, the Colorado breeze coming through the window, and I'm, just looking like, how much did I make in the past month from May 1st to June 1st? Oh, let me see, I've made this much in the past 24 hours, I've made this much in the past week, I've made this much in the past month. Wow, look at that. I actually exceeded my goal, by $1,300, because I wrote in here $51,300 is my actual goal. Then, I'm imagining and visualizing my phone going off from Facebook messages that are in my group. My team, my personally sponsored people are a very, very tightly knit group, and they get really, really excited about stuff. So I'm picturing how excited they're going to be when they all start making a lot of money with the iPass system. With Empower Network. So I'm, visualizing my phone going off, because I've got the Facebook Messenger thing that's actually kind of annoying. It goes off like all the time, but it won't be annoying when it goes off all the time, because a lot of people are having success. And then at the end, you'll notice that I have, my reward in there, which is the rule that I mentioned, for not to be on a 25-hour flight in coach. That would kind of suck. So I would much prefer a couple of weeks ahead of time to book my flight first class. So that's what I'm going to use as my reward, to actually reward myself for hitting that goal, to be able to do that. So that's what I did in a nutshell, because I felt the feeling so strongly, because I wanted this so bad, not only for myself but for my team. I was able to partially manifest my goal in a much shorter period of time than 90 days. Now I've not hit 50,000 in a month yet. I think I was just under 35,000 last month, and my goal for June is 50,000. Not for June, but from May 1st to June 1st. So I will have already made 51,300 by June 1st. That's my goal. That's kind of how I walk through this process. Are there any questions, Lisa, that anyone that has come up with?
Yes, there's actually one question. At least I only see one question. Let me refresh real quickly. Let me see. Okay, so this question was, is Angela currently keeping on the pace of $25,000 per week, or has that fallen off?
Well, like I was mentioning before, I'm not doing like really any marketing right now, leading up to the iPass launch. So when iPass launches, I'm going to be putting a lot of money into marketing. Like I said, you can't actually make money without taking any action. In terms of marketing, I've not taken any action since that week. I've been working on stuff, working on other stuff. leading up to launch here. I'm not on pace for $25,000 a week. I'm not on pace for $100,000 a month yet. However, I see myself getting on pace for that, once I'm putting money into marketing. It's I can't guarantee results. I can't imagine myself putting $10,000 to $15,000 into marketing, and not being on pace for that kind of money pretty much right out of the gate.
Right.
Because it's just the numbers work out. So I think that would probably answer your question right there.
Yes. That's the only question that I see. Everyone else that's commenting is just basically saying, awesome, congratulations. Hi, Angela. Hi, Lisa. First class to Bali. Awesome. So you can continue.
Yeah, I'm excited. Should be like, yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking around and going through this process. And if you've not gone through it yet, if you've not answered the questions yet, I really encourage you guys to do that. And if you're not a part of our team yet, I really encourage you to get on board with what we're doing. Get back to the person that brought you here. Get on board with the iPass 2 system. It's free. Like, there's literally, it's like, why would you not join? It's free. And get involved in Empower Network. Get involved in Empower Network. Be part of this launch, because right now everybody has, the biggest opportunity to be able to create a result is in the beginning. And I'll tell you guys, when I first got involved in Empower Network, I created a result. I then took that result. And the result that I created, by the way, I had such an easy time creating it because Empower Network had just launched. All I did was copy and paste emails that Dave was sending out, and I made like $10,000 in like 6 weeks or something like that, which, I've made money before in insurance, and up until, this $25,000 a week, I've made less money actually in this industry than I've ever made in my other businesses, in my insurance business or in my eBay sales business. So that's why, when I made 10 grand in 6 weeks, it wasn't like I wasn't blown out of the water and wanting to just do this full time, but I did create a result, and what a lot of what I did to actually, get a bigger and bigger result when I came back to Empower Network was I just simply marketed that result. I shot videos on the internet talking about how I earned this much money in 6 weeks. You'll notice a lot of leaders online that are doing that. They do it because it works. So right now, and again, the reason why it was so easy for me to create a result was because it was like Empower Network was in pre-launch. Well, right now, iPass 2 is in pre-launch. It's a funded proposal for Empower Network. It's free to join. A bunch of people are joining. We have thousands and thousands of people getting on board with this thing. It's so easy to create a result. If you guys go and you create a result, if you make $1,000 in a day or $1,000 in a week, or even, $100 online is like a lot of money to a lot of people. If you go and you do that and you decide to jump on board with us and join our team, get involved in Empower Network, get involved in iPass, do you have any idea how much easier it's going to be to actually go and reach your goals? And be able to build a bigger and bigger and bigger result based on your results. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot easier. And I'm actually going to be putting a training together to actually teach you guys how to do this as well, because it's a lot of the reason that I've had success online, so much success online, is just results-oriented marketing. So that's a whole different subject altogether. I've kind of gotten on a rant here again. But is there anything else, Lisa, that you want me to add before we take off here? Any questions that you have for me?
Yeah, we actually have a couple more questions that came through. What kind of budget in advertising did you use to get to that level? I guess what they mean is to the 25 in 1 week. 24,625 in 1 week. We know that there was an intention, and a lot of it came from, getting your team involved in that, but was there a budget involved too? Like, were you advertising at that time?
I was not advertising at that time. That was all profit. That was all profit, mostly from like upgrades and things like that. I also, from setting this intention, I don't know how it happened. I was getting the same lead flow, but I also did get like 10 signups that week, and I've not had I've not had 10 signups because, like I said, I'm not running traffic, so it was weird. I was getting like 10 leads a day, and I still got like 10 signups in a week. But that particular goal, I didn't have a budget for. In order to earn $10,000 a month, I was spending roughly like $2,000 to $3,000 a month in marketing. But you guys don't have to start like that. You guys don't have to start spending that much money, especially what I was doing before was I had obviously a return on investment, but it wasn't like a super high return on investment, so it was very kind of difficult to scale. With the launch of iPass 2 and what we're having, come out, we're going to have calculators, we're going to have all sorts of stuff for you guys to actually really track your, return on investment. You'll be able to scale a lot faster. Potentially than I was able to scale, and you'll also be able to see your numbers a whole lot more clearly.
Yes.
We want to make this so that anybody with any kind of budget can get started and be able to make money to reinvest back into the business. And it doesn't matter where you actually start. If you only have $100 for advertising, if you can put that $100 in and be able to see a return on it, then you can make more money by reinvesting back into the business, which is kind of the name of the game.
Absolutely. Next question is, if you're not promoting, then, wait a minute, if you're not promoting, then you are not doing much with Internet Traffic Formula?
Internet traffic formula, I've meant to actually promote that because I think that it is, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the best product that Power Network has come out with. I've watched the videos, I've done a little bit of promotion, but I've mostly been working on some iPass stuff for right now. So I personally have not. I think that's actually a big mistake on my part. I am not by any way saying don't promote that or buy it because it's going to be an awesome product. I actually can't wait to start watching it. I was just watching Vic's second video this afternoon, like right before the hangout, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Because I think media buying is like really, really, really awesome stuff. I don't know anything about it, but I know that a lot of the people that make, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month, a lot of them are doing like large media buys. So I know that's a lot of the stuff he's going to be training on. So no, awesome product. Totally stand behind it 110%.
Awesome. All right, well, before we close out, because I know we have about 5 more minutes before we close out, just to show and just to basically prove that what Angela has trained you guys on tonight, which is basically setting your intentions if you want to create a certain outcome in your life, what I want to share is I actually wrote down a couple of things that I can think of off the top of my head when I actually first got started on our team with our company, the Empower Network, and basically what I did to create my intentions. So if you don't mind, Angela, and if no one else minds, I'd like to share my little intention. You guys want to hear that? Yes or no in the comments? Do you really care?
I care. I want to know your intention. If nobody else cares, I want to know. No, I'm sure everybody cares. I'm totally joking around with you.
Okay, so this is basically what my intention was. Let me pull up my little notepad here because I was actually typing as you were, going through the questions and stuff. So your first question was, what evidence is there going to be in your? Actually, no. It was to set an intention on what you wanted to do in a certain amount of time frame. So for me, I wanted to create $25,000 in 90 days and $150,000 in my first year. Well, I actually literally hit. It was just shy of 25,000. It was like 24. I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 24 and change. And I hit that in exactly 90 days. I didn't hit my 150K in 1 year, but I did hit my 100K in a year. So I was close to that. The next question was why? Okay, why and what was the reason that will drive you to accomplish that goal? For me, and for a lot of people, it was to get out of the hole that I was in, right? Because at the time, I was 3 months backed up in rent. I was actually living in a tight 2-bedroom apartment. So my goal was to actually pay off my rent so I could get that stress off my back. And then also to get out of my tight 2-bedroom apartment and to move my family into a 4 or 5 bedroom house within within that year, within that first year. It wasn't going to be within the 90 days. I wanted to set the intentions to create the income first, but I wanted to within that first year to actually be able to transition that, because my daughter was in school. I couldn't just pull her out in the middle of school and then go to a new city and putting her, so I had to wait until June till she actually got out of school to actually and make the transition. So I wanted to get out of the Bronx, out of a tight 2-bedroom apartment, and my intention was literally to move into Atlanta into a 4 or a 5-bedroom house. Okay, that's all I visioned. That's all I wanted. That's all I dreamed about. That's all I could think about. When I was working, that was like my intentions. It was the only thing that I wanted to focus on was how can I make that happen. And so I put my intentions out there and I said, I'm just going to do this, and wherever the pieces fall, that's where they fall. But I'm going to do my best and follow the training and do what else, whatever I have to do, basically whatever it takes. So the next one was, what evidence is there going to be in your life to show that you accomplished your outcome? Well, I wrote a list of mine. First of all, I moved in the 5-bedroom house within 10 months. When I moved, I literally took absolutely no furniture. So when I moved in the house, it was basically with nothing. Okay, all we had was boxes of clothes and books and CDs, whatever, DVDs, pictures, things like that. I literally had nothing. But when I moved in, we went shopping and I bought furniture for this 5-bedroom house. Everything is brand spank. Everything, when you walk through my house, every single thing is brand new. Okay? I wanted to be able to travel, at least every 3 months. Well, I'm traveling every 3 months now. I wanted to hit the leaderboards. I actually hit the leaderboards in my first 90 days. I was wearing, this was actually, here, let me take this down. These were some of the intentions. This was the first intentions, was to get this red lanyard, which basically means you're in the top 200. And so I did that in my first 90 days. When we went to the first event, I was in the top 200, which really I didn't even know that there was a contest going on. I wasn't even trying to compete with the contest. I was just basically focused on my goal and my visions. When I was presented with this at the event, and I was like, well, why does everybody else have on a blue one and I have on a red one? I couldn't figure it out. And they was like, Lisa, you're in the top 200. I was like, I am? And then within that, within a couple of events after that, I had another intention of mine was to actually speak on stage at one of the events. And this black lanyard represents a speaker at the stage, the top, better than the red. This is like top level. And so I was able to create this, and I spoke in front of 1,200 or 1,500 people. I don't even know how many people there, but I spoke in front of 1,200 people for my very first time. And was I scared? Was I nervous? Yes, but I did it anyway. I accomplished that goal. I accomplished that dream. And then the next question was, what reward are you going to create for yourself when you create your outcome? Well, I had 3 very simple goals. I accomplished 2 already. I'm actually working on the 3rd one. The first one was to buy myself a Canon TSI camera.
Wait, I think
I was like, and I actually made that happen so that I could create really nice videos, because I wanted to get into like doing more videos and having quality videos and things like that. My second one was to get a brand new puppy. I know Aww. It's a silly, reward for yourself, but that was a reward. I said, when I move to Atlanta and I get this house, I see myself having a cute little puppy. And where is he? Is he around here? I would introduce you to him, but he left the room. If you guys have been friends with me on Facebook, you guys know who Rusty is. And then my 3rd one was to take my family on a Disney cruise, which I'm actually working on now. So I didn't get to do that yet, but I'm working on that one right now. So the reason why I want to share this with you is to just prove to you guys that when you set your intentions and you have your goals, in your mind, in your head, that yes, I believe in myself. I believe that I could do this, because when you look at other big top leaders in other companies, really, they're no different than us. They're no different. And I struggled for a really long time, just like you. I've been online for 6 years. I struggled for many, many years before I started getting the success that I'm having now. I think our story is pretty similar, Angela. So
Yeah.
yes, I mean, I could relate to the people that are struggling, but at some point,
Uh-oh. You're frozen, Lisa. I don't know if that's from my end. Huh.